Hour number 2, it's a Thursday. By the way, Friday tomorrow, Star, Idaho. Yep, prepare yourself for Michael Forrest Prater. Ridley's Family Market is where we will be. Part of their tailgate party they do on Fridays at Ridley's, getting you ready for a massively packed weekend, Prater. We'll have tickets to the Idaho Vandal Boise State Bronco basketball game this hour when we get to Rock Jocks and Pop Culture. But welcome our video audience, by the way, on the KTIK YouTube channel here. We're here to talk Ashton Jeanty and I'll use the word again, a massive business move in the branding and the relationships that will come as a result for the young star running back in Las Vegas. We figured we'd give a whole segment today to talk Ashton Jeanty and Klutch Sports, man. It happened. Jeanty's team Klutch Sports now. He's got a new agent.
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that he's made this move, and I got no issues with the agency of the past, but I love the fact that Ashton Jeanty made this business decision, made this move. And Ashton Jeanty, when he left Boise State, signed with Henry Organ out of the Disruptive Sports Agency. We've had Henry on our show, and for whatever reason, I'm not sure how the connection worked, but he hooked up and signed George Holani. And you know, guys, you know Ashton Jeanty, very loyal to Boise State, very loyal to George Holani. So he went off and signed with Henry Organ as well. And I think Henry Organ and the Disruptive Sports Agency did a nice job with Ashton Jeanty. Got him a first-round draft pick. I think they executed the offseason spectacular. They put him out there in front of the media when he had to be. They peeled him back when he needed to be peeled back to take care of business. And now we've seen him on a couple of big-time national ad campaigns, the Pizza Huts and the Applebee's of the world. Small things like underwear here and other kinds of products.
The underwear, I have 2 pair. I
think that they've done a fantastic job, but Klutch Sports can take you to a whole another level in terms of what they mean, what they, the business power. It's one of the most powerful agencies. For people who follow this kind of stuff, it's the same thing as like a Drew Rosenhaus in the NFL, or what
Scott Boras
in baseball,
Greg in baseball over there.
So it's just it's a powerful move. It was started by LeBron James's agent, Rich Paul, and LeBron James is heavily involved. Jalen Hurts, Myles Garrett, lots of big stars. This is a fantastic news for Ashton Jeanty.
It is. And Henry Organ, you're right. I mean, Henry Organ had Ashton Jeanty in a Super Bowl Pizza Hut commercial with Rob Gronkowski. That was 5 months before the draft, man, before he was even the 6th overall pick. It's just, it's one of those deals. I mean, no one, you hate it. Sometimes, Prater, you've dated that girl and you were wondering, dang it, is she really too pretty for me? And then a couple of weeks later, you found out she was dating somebody else and she left you. And you're like, okay, I mean, this kind of, maybe Henry Organ is having a little bit of those vibes now. Like you were wondering, yes, you had practice squad players on your clientele list. And thanks to George Holani's connection with Ashton Jeanty, George Holani, by the way, will be on the show in an hour. Based on that connection, Henry Organ and his team was able to lure and sign and sell Jeanty. And it lasted, I don't know, a little more than a year. And wherever Jeanty is now mentally in his game with what he wants to do off the field in terms of business, connections, contacts. Well, Rich Paul, Maverick Carter, Nicole Lynn, some of the big names with Klutch Sports on, you said, of course, LeBron James. This gets Ashton Jeanty there, I think, more so. And Henry Organ can disagree all he wants, and I get it. This has got to be tough for agents when they lose big-name players. I have a buddy who's an agent, and he lost 2 massively big-time baseball players on his clientele, and he's never been the same as an agent, sadly. But I think this for Jeanty, it probably was a tough call to make, but he's just looking at his entire capsule and teaming up with Klutch Sports Group. Man, it's tough to go wrong there.
I'm glad you brought that up about the life of an agent, because it is pretty cutthroat, it feels like. The minute you think you have a big score, the player decides he's off to greener pastures. And does it get any greener than Klutch Sports? I mean, it seems like now he's going to, like you said, he's going to be able to kind of do almost whatever he wants off the field because the connections are endless here. And the life of an agent is, if you're not the cream of the crop at the top is certainly it can be difficult. So I'm glad you acknowledged that part of it.
Here's what Ashton Jeanty traded for, and I don't know how anecdotal or how scientific this is, but it is the world that we live in. Henry Organ, his NFL agent up until today on social media. Let's just go with Twitter. He had 864 followers on Twitter.
Okay.
There isn't a single human being out there outside of the industry that knows who Henry Organ is. Again, 864 followers. I think my daughter has more followers on Twitter than Henry Organ, an NFLPA certified agent. His new agent now, Ashton Jeanty's new agent is Nicole Lynn, a power broker in this industry, 93,000 Twitter followers. Nicole Lynn, guys, is one of the most powerful women in all of sports. She's the first Black woman to represent an NFL draft pick. She was voted the most powerful woman in business sports in 2021. There was a report a couple years ago that 50 Cent was going to make a movie about her, a drama television series based on her life. A couple of years ago, Klutch Sports hired her as the president of football operations, which means she's over in charge of Myles Garrett, Jalen Hurts, a couple of others that I probably forgot. So she is a massive, massive, massive mover and shaker. And she is now with the Klutch Sports Group backdrop. By the way, she's an Oklahoma graduate, so put that in your pipe and smoke it for whatever the Oklahoma Sooners, Boise State fans want to say.
Strong, man.
But Nicole Lynn is a powerful, powerful agent who's going to take this powerful force that she has in Ashton Jeanty and create magic for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, however long it works. I think it's a beautiful relationship.
Think about this too. Just the world of being a running back, and it's crazy. Jeanty hasn't played 8 games yet, but you're already hearing, and rightfully so, well, what's that contract going to look like, and who's going to put Jeanty in the best possible position? Say what you want. My opinion, the best running back in the league right now is Bijan Robinson. He is a Klutch Sports client. He knows his deal is coming in a couple of years, and they don't want to pay running backs. Ashton Jeanty needs to attach himself to an outfit, to an organization that gets guys paid. And if it's not going to be on the football field from an NFL team, it needs to come from somewhere else. And whatever production that looks like, Ashton Jeanty and that smile could and should and might just be everywhere. And Ashton Jeanty can be one of these crossover. He's not a football player as much as he's a celebrity. A Tim Tebow, not like him, but Tim Tebow was more of a celebrity than he was a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a star. Oh, he's not that good at football. I don't care. He's still a star. You don't have to be good to be a star. You just have to be a star. And maybe this helps Ashton Jeanty in that regard. He's going to need that big second contract, and he's thinking, God, Henry Organ's got 900 followers. Prater.
864.
His former agent, that's not a good look, having a total no-namer like that can't get you into the doors maybe Ashton Jeanty wants opened in his life.
I do think the second contract thing for running backs is less of a concern now than it used to be, because we just saw Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, and Josh Jacobs all get pretty nice contracts recently with the Eagles, Ravens, and Packers in free agency. And those teams all had success behind those running backs. Obviously, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. The Packers and Ravens also made the playoffs. I think if the Raiders are in good shape 3 or 4 years from now, when it comes time for that second contract for Jeanty, I actually think he's going to be okay on the field, but obviously this is going to help him a lot off the field.
He better. Yeah.
I mean, they both go hand in hand for sure. I think Christian
McCaffrey got paid a little bit too. He was kind of the first one of that wave to, for a team to throw money at a running back. But that's only because they had a 7th rounder playing quarterback named Brock Purdy at that time. If you can sign that up structurally with your salary, heck yeah. I think Jeanty's going to get paid. But I mean, again, we're talking about his contract 2 when he's not even 8 games into contract 1. But these guys look at that. And I guarantee you Klutch Sports probably came up and that was one of their big selling points. Contract 2. Forget contract 1. We got Bijan Robinson. Now we have you, 2 of the best backs in the league to go along with the star quarterback. Prater said Jalen Hurts, and maybe the best defensive player on planet Earth, Myles Garrett right now. They've had OBJ, and we've seen Odell Beckham Jr. go from a star player to a mediocre player, but still a big name. I don't think Klutch Sports hurt OBJ throughout the years as well. So Ashton Jeanty, He's got new management. He's a Klutch Sports Group guy. Rich Paul, LeBron James, Maverick Carter, Nicole Lynn. This will be interesting to see what, in fact, Klutch Sports is able to do with Jeanty.
The contract is fine, and that will take care of itself, as you pointed out, down the road. The big job for these guys right now is to make Ashton Jeanty as relevant as possible, regardless of what he does on the football field. So if he finishes this year with 912 yards and 4 touchdowns and 4.1 yards per carry, and is just kind of a top 10, top 12, top 15 running back in the NFL and kind of a pedestrian rookie season, it's their job to take that and put steroids into that in the offseason and make him relevant, put him on TV, make him relevant, do interviews, whatever it takes to keep him relevant as he continues to build this career. So if and when he does get to that second contract, and it hasn't quite popped yet, the personality, because I think his personality, his smile, his vibe is just as powerful as his legs. Now, he's going to get paid because of what he does with his legs, but it all goes hand in hand. And I think that this is a brilliant move. And for the next 2 or 3 years, it'll be really fun to see what kind of commercials they come up with in terms of getting him some national ad campaigns.
Yeah, in Las Vegas as well. So, yeah.
That's one thing I'm curious about is obviously the Raiders haven't really taken off there in Vegas. And, of course, they've mostly been – all their fans were in the Bay Area, and they were in Southern California a little bit in their history as well. But I wonder if part of the reason they haven't taken off is because they just haven't had that marketable star, right? I mean, maybe Max Crosby, but if you think about it, if the Raiders are to get good the next few years, it would be because of Ashton Jeanty, we would think, right? Like
you'd hope, unless they hit
pick.
Strike oil on a quarterback.
Yeah, so I would think that if he can help get more people in Vegas interested in the Raiders, and if they can kind of get good behind him running the football, then that would do a lot for him these next few years.
Klutch Sports, their first job is to make him the most popular athlete in Vegas, because right now the most popular athlete in Vegas is A'ja Wilson.
She's also a client of Klutch Sports.
Is she really?
Yeah, Klutch Sports has A'ja Wilson as well.
A'ja Wilson is on 19 billboards in Las Vegas for every one that Ashton Jeanty is on.
Wow.
She is by far the biggest rock star in that town. It doesn't extend beyond that. Ashton Jeanty can take this national. A'ja Wilson cannot. But A'ja Wilson, and for those of you who don't know, she's the WNBA reigning MVP, champion, all that kind of stuff. She is the rock star in that league right now, the face of that franchise when Caitlin Clark is not healthy. So A'ja Wilson is very, very popular. And you got to start small. Klutch Sports, because Vegas can be very, very powerful. Make Ashton Jeanty the biggest star in Las Vegas, then make him the biggest star in Los Angeles, and then make him the biggest star on the West Coast, and just continue to build that brand. That's what Klutch Sports does at its best.
You guys like Ashton Jeanty, Klutch Sports, right? Why would you not? Text 208.
LeBron James.
Text 208-424-9300. Let's read some of those texts. Hey, Lee Sterling. Boise State's a 12.5-point favorite hosting UNLV on Saturday. Where's Lee Sterling going to go? Let's find out on KTIK The Ticket.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studio, this is Ticket Traffic.
Save now at Buy Mart.